No clue. No clue what I was getting myself into. You know, I thought Brian's bugging me to do another short film. It's take a week, 2 weeks to do. Yeah, we'll be fine. Sure, Brian, come on over. We'll figure it out. Let's do it, right? No freaking clue. No one survives on scoring short films, right?
The hardest thing about the entire film was how to begin. We have 2 dancers, but we have no choreography and we have no music. You can't do choreography without music. So the first person I talked to was composer Darren Fung.
It's daunting to work on a film where you're the first creative element, because that so much of what we do is informed by the visual look of the film, like, you know, the lighting, the color, the actors, the motion and everything. As opposed to being influenced by all of those elements, you're influencing all of these other elements.
It was a chicken and the egg situation. He was drawing from a completely blank canvas.
For both of us, we learned, you know, hey, we have to reinvent how we're going to work together, right? And we're going to have to figure out what do you need and what do I need.
So you just remember when we had to spin? On the
side. The solution for that was finally Jen, Claudio, and I going over to his studio and trying to act out the dance.
It's like, okay, so say we finish this, then come around here, and then...
Yeah, so I was going to...
Yeah, the first day going to Darren's, I didn't really know what to expect, just no room for dancing. You know, with Tango flicks and stuff, like, well, I hit something.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do my best, and I know we can work together and figure it out. I did feel the creativity there, though, because there was, like, his piano, and, you know, it worked for me, actually.
We had broken things down in seconds, right? But then I think we had to make things work dance-wise. Right?
I don't speak music, so I can say this movement's going to take about 8 seconds. And Darren is like, okay, what's that mean in music terms?
So luckily I am a violinist as well, so counts come easy to me, and I was able to kind of choreograph based off just counts and like rhythm.
She could listen to what I was saying from a story perspective and translate that into movement, and then look at Darren and say, it's 8 bars.
And all of a sudden we're working together on like we're talking together now.
When it was just Darren and I, it didn't work. We needed the bridge of somebody who could translate story into movement, into music.
I started to do just kind of like some steps in front of him so he could make like a kind of mock piano version. And then we had that skeleton to work off of.
It's an amazing process to watch, especially because I have no dance experience. So to me, it's a very new thing. The most important thing about producing is if you've hired the right people, you don't really have to do anything. You just have to let them work.
It wasn't just like a one and done meeting. It was a constant back and forth where we'd work on the dance with the new music for a couple weeks.
Okay, then we land here, and this is where we added the extra notches.
And then find adjustments, places that needed to be lengthened or shortened.
I wanted to strangle Brian. You know, when I first started, because I had no idea what this was going to do. I thought this was going to be a 2-week process, and it really ended up being, like, you know, a couple of months.
And then this is where you got to.
You know, if you agree to work on a project, you know, you're going to give your best. And it's just a matter of just, all right, well, if that doesn't work, well, then let's find a time window to slot you guys to come in again, and let's figure it out. So there was a lot of 8 o'clock appointments after the kids went to bed to come, okay, well, fine, let's figure this out again, you know. But much to my delight, and yes, to me, a little of my annoyance, but to my delight, you know, it was a very enjoyable process.
We were finally ready in January to record the music, and it was at the last minute. We were 3 weeks away from production.
We had an ensemble of 6 players. What it was just taking instruments that were commonly found, for the lack of a better term, the sexiness of a melodic instrument. You need, you know, some driving rhythm. You need some bass.
Each one of those instruments becomes as important as a piece of dialogue or a sound effect. You can't do a tango without an accordion. You have to have that guitar, the violin. They all bring that sound that makes the movie come alive. And to be on the stage as it's happening is really magical. And it's fun to see Darren in his element, conducting and tweaking and working to bring out the best of each musician.
Wow, he is such an amazing composer because I don't think he had experience doing Argentine tango music in the past. That's such a specific style of music, and he really nailed it, honestly. Like, so good. You should release it in Argentine tango world.
Hearing the final music right when we were about to film, it was great because you could see and hear how well our choreo matched with the music that came out before we even heard it.
Like, I'm really grateful because, you know, obviously my music is front and center and plays such a large role in the film. But I think in every film, it's just a lot of talented people working together for a common cause. I think if people walk away with something, it's just an appreciation of how much goes into making a film.